Are you going to top roll Todd, just like Zoloev?
No.
Okay. All right, guys. Just finished a short 20-minute interview with Corey the Gorilla West before his match with Todd Hutchings on October 16th. Right from the beginning, I knew that Corey is such a simple, humble, and respectful guy. I am not going to get any trash talks out of him. So I decided to interview Todd Hutchings and Corey West separately just for this reason. So enjoy this short interview, give the video thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Welcome everyone, I'm Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News, and today we have a special guest, Corey the Gorilla West. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm just fine here. So before we talk about the big match, let me quickly ask you, for the fans, who is Corey West? If someone new is watching here, can you give a little introduction about yourself?
Man, I just a normal guy who likes to arm wrestle, I guess. Just been doing it about 5 years now. Obviously, mostly well known because of Michael, but just trying to get to the top like everybody else.
Yeah. So how far away do you live from Michael?
About 35 minutes.
It's interesting because here in India, when somebody asks us how far away do we live from someone, we answer it in kilometers. So what exactly would that be in terms of miles? So what are we talking about? 1 hour is what, 50, 60 miles, I'm guessing?
So probably about roughly 35, 40 miles.
Okay, 40 miles.
Yeah, not too far.
I was just thinking about it. You might be the biggest arm wrestler there is right now in this world, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. I think there are some guys that are lower level, maybe that are just big. Because I know I've met some guys over the years that were probably 6'7", and probably close to 450 plus pounds, but they may not even arm wrestle anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just huge guys that were interested because they were big, and then probably didn't do as good as they'd hoped and walked away pretty quickly.
So you are about 430 pounds last time I heard.
Yeah, probably 425, 430, somewhere in there.
And how tall are you?
Somewhere between 6'3", 6'4".
6'3" and 6'4". So when and where is the match for the fans who want to watch it?
Lovett, is that right? Is it in Lovett, Texas? Lindale, yeah, Lindale, Texas. I guess we're about 48 hours. No, it's like a day and a half away. We got all day tomorrow, and then I guess it'll be midday Saturday. I don't know the exact time.
And the match will be live streamed on Monster Michael Todd YouTube channel, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's correct.
So you mentioned you started arm wrestling about 5 years ago. So how did you get into arm wrestling? What was the motivation?
Just just had always been strong, and had kind of gotten into it a long time prior to that, and ended up having a motorcycle accident, ripping my right shoulder out of socket, and just didn't end up pursuing it then. And 4 or 5 years later, it was kind of healed up, and a group of guys that I knew competed, or they messed around with it. So we just kind of all got together, and I couldn't beat most of them. So, it just kind of sparked an interest.
So that's amazing to hear that even you couldn't beat some guys in the beginning. They were regular arm wrestlers or just...
Yeah, so sadly enough, we probably our top 154-pound guy here in this state. I couldn't. He wasn't even that great then. He just kind of gotten into it, but he had gotten into it several years before me, and at 154 pounds, I couldn't beat him.
Yeah, you mentioned that you are mostly known because of Michael Todd. So how big do you think is the social media part in today's world in terms of arm wrestling, in terms of getting super matches? Do you think had you been at the same level, but not close to Michael Todd or not close to YouTube, would you have got the similar level match against Todd Hutchings?
Um, maybe at this point, it. I mean, that match has been discussed a lot longer than now. It was probably discussed more around early COVID, so it probably definitely wouldn't have been discussed that early like it was. But at this point, me and Todd are right beside each other in the rankings. Um, I've pretty much I don't have the list in front of me, but all the guys pretty much directly behind me in the North American rankings, I've pretty much pulled and done really well against. So, at this point, probably yes. When the match first started being discussed year and a half, 2 years ago, no, it was probably because of Michael.
Yeah, I really feel that you and Michael are truly blessed to have each other as their training partners, because Michael has mentioned many times that he did not have a training partner for such a long period of time till he started his career, since he started his career. And for you to get Michael Todd, one of the greatest of all times, to get as your training partner so early, it is just amazing, man. It is a blessing.
Yeah, no, we have good chemistry. We do well together. We've become really good friends over the time, and when you get along with somebody at that level and then share the same interests, we have a lot of similarities just in our personalities. Even obviously we're different, but like neither of us are drinkers, or I've never done any. Just like we just share the same shames, a lot of similarities for sure.
So let's get straight to the match. What is your preparation for Todd Hutchings? Like, what did you change in your training, if you want to reveal it here?
Well, I mean, the only thing I really did for this match that is different, and part of it is because Michael was on tour, so I didn't pull at a high level near as much as I usually do. But I'm also really not banged up at all now. Like my joints feel great, my wrist feels great. Usually the way we train is so hard and aggressive that I spend the last 3 or 4 weeks wondering if I'm going to be able to heal in time to compete. Sometimes I have, and sometimes I haven't. Um, this time I focused a lot on being really, really fresh. My joint, like I said, just not banged up at all, no tweaks, no injuries, and focused on my power level, because I didn't feel like I had to worry about Todd taking my hand or doing anything crazy technique wise. If he beats me, it'll literally just be because of the angle and horsepower that he's pulling at. So my main focus was to try to build enough power to not be able to be overcame.
I don't know if you have watched any of my videos or not, but for the first time when your match was announced against Todd Hutchings, I made a prediction in that match, and I said that Todd Hutchings is going to win this match 3-0. And I gave a few reasons for that. I said that I have never seen Todd Hutchings lose in a hook match unless it is against someone really fast, like Rustam Babayev or Prudnik. And I said that Corey West is not that fast. And it kind of upsetted Michael Todd because he's so close to you. And he
Yeah.
even made some comments about that. So what do you think about this analogy? Like, have you seen anyone beat Todd Hutchings in a hook who's not really fast?
Um, I mean, I guess Dave Chafee kind of pulled through him flat-handed.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about it is, and you know, I don't think Todd has really pulled, of course, at his weight. Yeah,
Yeah.
ridiculous. But in the supers, I don't think, even he made this comment, there aren't a lot of supers that pull deep in a hook anymore. So even
Right.
Dave is kind of a flat-handed, you know, side pressure. And my objective is to just be as turned in as and committed with my shoulder as I can be. Um, No, to answer your question, I haven't seen Todd pull through in a hook, but I also haven't seen him in a deep hook that much with anybody huge.
Right.
I did see him lose to Mike Aiello in a deep hook, but that was 4 or 5 years ago. Um, do I think he's beatable in a hook? Yes, 100%.
So what does Michael Todd mean when he says that Todd will not be able to comfortably grip against you and he will be turned palm up when you go sideways? Michael Todd has said a few times that your hand is so massive, it is so big. So what did you feel after your practice pull? What information did you gather out of that practice pull against Todd Hutchings a
Oh,
few months ago?
nothing. I was in pretty rough shape then. I left there feeling like a child more than anything. Um, the injury was tough. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the toughest part about it, was all the regression. And you know, I pulled, Dave Chafee, obviously left-handed, felt like I was in the match, and then pulled Wayne Withers, had a really good match against Wayne, and then had to take 5 or 6 months off of doing nothing. I weighed 426, 427 pounds whenever I pulled Wayne Withers, and I mean I was this size essentially, and just the lack of being able to do anything at all in the gym, I dropped down to like 370 something pounds. I mean, I was still eating a lot. I mean, I was still eating normal. Um, my left arm probably atrophied 5 or 6 inches, and my right arm probably shrank 2 or 3 just from not really being able to do much. Um, so yeah, I went from kind of riding pretty good high, of my performance with Wayne, and the Dave Chafee thing was unfortunate, but to really I fell so far. It felt like that was the first time I had gripped up with really anybody. Like Michael said, I don't even think I was truly supposed to be pulling. Um, I know it's right-handed, but I don't think I was really supposed to be squeezing and tightening my left muscles, at all still then the way I was doing. But anyways, Todd was way too much for me in that state. There's no doubt about that. But so was Don Underwood,
Don Underwood, yeah.
and I've had a lot of success against Don. So I don't put a lot into it. I didn't gain anything pulling him other than I was pretty weak at the moment.
Yeah. Let's quickly address some of the questions of the viewers on my channel. So French Reaper asked, what does this mean to you after your loss to Dave Chafee? Like, what does winning this match mean to you?
I mean, I haven't been beat right-handed in several years now. It means, a spot up in the rankings. It means a fair amount of money won. Not losing any momentum. Obviously, if I lose, it's hard to go, try to grab the next guy up because, I lost to somebody below them. So
Yeah.
really and truly, it's just mostly about just continuing progress more than anything. Like I said earlier, everybody's kind of chasing that top spot. So, if I get through Todd, and if I can somehow beat Todd worse than Devin or Jerry did, I mean, how does that look? Then I feel like, if I feel like I should get a shot at Jerry or somebody,
Yeah. I think you could be a really, really good match against Jerry. And the next question, Zach has asked, are you scared of Todd's side pressure or are you going to rip through his arm?
Um, we'll see where the pressure's at and how the match feels. I feel like I have a game plan going in. Um, deep down, I do want to pull him in a hook.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull him the smartest way I can pull him and try to win. And if I feel like there's a gap or that's the lane, then that's where I'll go.
Last time I checked, your block is still open on stakings.com. So if any of you guys want to bet on Corey West, please support him and put your money on Todd, put your money on Corey. on stakings.com. And one more question I wanted to
I
ask you.
think it. I
Yeah,
think it.
please.
I think it closed out about 20 minutes ago.
Right, right. So it is not going to open again, I guess.
I don't know the answer to that, but I know that that fourth block was closed out.
Okay. One more question that I personally wanted to ask you. What is your take on grippers? Like, and even more importantly, I have one observation about that grippers in arm wrestling. Most of the arm wrestlers are against grippers. And they say, and this question comes from what Monster Michael Todd and what mainly Ryan SP has said about grippers. So they say that it tends your wrist to bend backwards. So that is why it is not wise to train grippers because you press them like that. And my question is, the next day, I see both of them wrapping out 400 pounds on a bench press with a broken back wrist. So, what is your analogy about that?
Well, I mean, that's two totally different things, though. Um, Obviously, if you're bench pressing, you're trying to strengthen your chest and
Chest.
back and triceps. Whereas if you're trying to strengthen your hand and wrist with a gripper, you know what I mean? Like they're not targeting their wrist when they bench press, is the only thing that I see that's different. Whereas with the gripper, you are trying to target that area that they're talking about being buckled back. I don't use any grippers and I love bench press. So, I mean, um, bench press is weird. I do think, oddly enough, bench press has weirdly made my wrists stronger. When I first started benching in the 500s, my wrists, because I don't like to use wrist wraps or anything like that, and my wrists sometimes would feel like spraying, like I overloaded the joint. And for a long time, I was like, man, I'm hurting my arm wrestling career with this bench press stuff because my wrists stay so hurt. And then over time, it just went away. Like they got strong enough to support that. Um, you know, my wrists have gotten so strong for a few different reasons. I think that's a small contributing factor. I think trying to fight Michael's pronation and outside game for the last 3 years is the main contributing factor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't fear a top roller at all. Like I think I can turn probably almost everybody in the arm wrestling world in a hook. Now, if I can beat them in a hook, that's a different question.
Yeah,
But I think I can force the hook with almost anybody.
that's amazing. And we saw that against Wayne Withers, how easily you countered his top roll.
Yeah, I would be real interested to know. I think a lot of people, I could keep them from slipping. Like I think I could grab them in a way that they couldn't even get away, even if I let them go and just posted and kept my hand, that I could keep them from slipping if I wanted to.
Okay, let's quickly do a rapid Q&A question, rapid fire. Please answer in fewest words possible. Is Todd Hutchings the strongest arm wrestler that you have faced till date, right-handed?
I don't know the answer to that. You know, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I've pulled some pretty strong guys. John's inside power felt crazy when we pulled, but he doesn't pull a lot of people inside, which is weird.
Yeah.
To me, when I pulled John Brezink, it was not long after I had beaten Mike Aiello in a hook, and John wasn't even training then, and John was still, to me, stronger in a hook than Mike Aiello, which was crazy to me because Mike's pretty high level and he was, current and relevant and training, and John was just kind of there to be John and still felt like a ton inside.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure Todd is probably the strongest, yes, but I don't know the answer to that yet.
After that poll, John mentioned a couple of times on some YouTube channels that he really wanted a match against you at some point of time. So is that match in the talkings? You versus John Brezink?
I think him and Michael discussed it a little bit, but I think it kind of got swept away currently. I haven't heard anything else about it. And I think he's a little more interested in being the top guy at his weight again, is the kind of what I had heard. But I don't know the answer to that. I know that he's got a match with a guy from Eastern Does he got a guy with or a match with the guy that just beat Todd, or is it somebody else?
Yeah, Zoloev,
Yeah,
who just beat Todd.
yeah. No, I think that's way more interesting to see if he can capture the, the number one spot at his weight again. I'd love to pull John. That'd be amazing. But if he's got other goals right now, then good for him. And
Yeah. Next few questions are yes and no, single word answers. Okay. Can Todd Hutchings beat Corey West tomorrow? Yes or no?
hope not.
Okay. Are
I'm
you
gonna
going
say no, but we'll see.
are you going to top roll Todd just like Zoloev?
No.
Okay. If you had the power to amend the rules and nobody would question your decision, would you ban the King's move?
No.
Okay. I think that's about it. I have one more question. Michael Todd versus Corey West, right-handed, best of 5 next month. Who wins this match?
Probably Michael, if I had to guess.
Okay.
You gotta watch out for him. He'll look like he's not strong sometimes, but he's still pretty strong.
Yeah. And he's getting big.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Corey, for your time. Thank you very much. And I wish you luck for your match tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.